Welcome back to Classic DM. Tonight's episode 6, Mopping Up. So as usual, I'd like to give a quick little recap of everything that's happened in the past week or so. I think we've gotten about 20 hours of death and destruction into this whole campaign, and the party's done some pretty amazing stuff so far. Let's get you up to speed. So we're just going to focus on the right-hand side here for a second, okay? So as you remember, from the very, very beginning, we're talking about the western part of the Greyhawk world. And the two nations at hand is the Tiger Nomads and the nation of Ket. So there was a marriage between a prince and a princess. The princess from the Tiger Nomads named Princess Mara, and a prince from Ket named Prince Aiden. They have a firstborn child. The child's prophesied to be special, things of this nature. And it kind of bonds the two nations together in such a way that you would never normally think that would happen. So one thing about that that's really, really interesting is that this kind of establishes a firm relationship between Ket and the Tiger Nomads as allies for a long, long, long period of time. So unlike in the past, there was issues with Tusmet. Now Tusmet is the neighboring nation. It's off to the west. Now, the real story kicked off in episode 1. Go back and watch episode 1 if you want to check out just plot information. I'm going to try to burn through this pretty quickly. But their firstborn child is abducted and it disappears. So they rally troops and a military and everyone trying to find out what happened to this child, where is this child, who did it, who took it, is it something to do with the assassination attempt on the leader of Ket from 20 years ago by this, there's an attempt on Zoltan by Tusmet. The fellow's this unpronounceable name of the leader of Tusmet. Let's just show you that. I always love trying to pronounce it. It makes me laugh every single time. Let's go. Tiger Nomads, Ket. Here we go. Tusmet. His exalted splendor, the Pasha of Tusmet, Jadim. So Jadim's a real shit, okay? Just to put it blunt to you. So he had hired assassins. It was revealed. And this is 20 years later. And the Tiger Nomads and Ket have been doing fantastic. Everything seems to be going really, really well. Ket's gateway to trade to the west. But when the firstborn child of these two was stolen, investigation kind of reveals that there seems to be hill giants are acting as lackeys for some kind of a Drow plot. No one really understands why the child was targeted, like why abduct a less than 6-month-old baby. Maybe that becomes clear later on. But in the process of tracking down what's going on, the princess and the prince plead to their families, and they just get their siblings. And in this time frame, in the Greyhawk campaign, everyone has brothers and sisters. The strength and the honor of your family is oriented around how strong your brothers and sisters are. So Mara has 2 brothers and sisters, and Aiden has brothers and sisters as well. So the 7 of them together. And let's just give you a rundown of who they are. Mercedes, who is from Ket, she's the older sister of Aiden. And then you have Zolers, who's from the Tiger Nomads. He's an older brother of Princess Mara. Eliphanisi is the younger sister, the youngest of the entire group. She's notorious for rolling ones. And Vrenjar, who's a ruthless killer, he's from the Tiger Nomads as well. So he's a sibling of Princess Mara. Then you have the druid, Filcherna, who's also a sister. And so she has 2 brothers and 2 sisters. And rounding out the rest of the party is the cleric, who's a good standby support guy, heavily armored, classical cleric in its most traditional sense for first edition. And then at the very end of the train is the youngest sister of Aiden, which is Obscura, who's an illusionist. So they make their way to the fortress, and they spend like episodes 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 working their way into this place and pretty much wiping out every single thing they run into. But along the way, they run into some really interesting plot points. So this is where we were last episode, at the end of episode 4. They had pretty much, I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit, and let's go focus on the map a little bit. They had wiped out the Great Hall, and they had discovered clues in a couple episodes before that were inside of stone giant pouches. When they come into the Great Hall, they discover there's a cloud giant visiting. So it's not just a bunch of hill giants getting a payroll on the weekend. There's a number of clues that relate to a map, which I'll just show you right here. This is a map in the party's possession. They decipher this as being a Drow map. They even actually figure out the location of where this area is. That this is the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl. It's an area that's up in the mountains. Let me just show you on the map here that the kids, Tiger Nomads, know this area really, really well. So let's go back up to this map here. There we go. Here. And let's get this background sound toned down some. I want you to be able to hear me better. All right. Bear with me a second. There we go. Okay. So as I was saying, there's a mountain range up here. Let's go up to the larger view of the map. There's a mountain range. If you look on the right-hand side, let me make that a little larger so you can see better. So where we're talking about, this glacial rift, there's always been a reputation of frost giants in this region. They would come down the frozen winter and raid Lake Quag when Lake Quag was frozen over. And so Tiger Nomads know this area. So when they found this map, between the intelligence of the scholars from Ket and from the childhood memories of the Tiger Nomad family from the north, they know where this is. They had to, at the end of episode 3 or 4, they actually had to make a collective decision whether to, because remember, they're trying to find this abducted child, their firstborn child of their brother and sister. So they decide ultimately to continue to ravage and destroy everything in the Hill Giant Chief Fortress in hopes of seeing if the child is still here and not gamble on traveling far, far ahead. Because remember, these hexes on the old Darlene map are 30 miles east. So you're talking about like maybe 1,200 miles away. A 1,200 mile away trip on horseback would take a long, long, long time. Even driving a car might take you 2 days. So they decide to stay here until they get more information. Now, one of the things that works out pretty well for them, and let's just pull this out a little bit so you can see the room that they were in last time, and we're going to reduce this down in size for you for the time being, is they end up barging into the Great Hall. They've gone around the perimeter, the southeastern section of the whole facility, and they barge in this massive celebratory feast that's happening. And when this feast is going on, it's almost like, the stress level's down, everyone's celebrating. There's no drow here or anything like that. And over the course of the battle, they wipe out the chief and the chief's wife and the cloud giant and a bunch of other lackeys and hill giants. There's a bunch of ogres who are over here. Very, very nasty battle. At one point in the battle, the illusionist even summons the illusion of a drow priestess, and they all react to that as if they've been betrayed. So what the party's done, they've rested up, they've completely healed up, and now they're ready to go check out the rest of the upstairs area. Also, back around this way, they discovered a chief's meeting room with maps on the wall, and they found a secret opening behind a shield that leads to a set of stairs that go down to a level below. And Vrindra went down and investigated it and checked it out. It seems to be some kind of a dungeon level. It smells like cave and water and things like that. So they decided to go, listen, let's check everywhere first, because these guys are leaving maps behind. They have letters, all kinds of information that's kind of cluing us into what's going on. So what the party decides to do now is, instead of being stealthy, they're just going to leave this mess here. It's a rainy night. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. The sun's going to come up around in maybe an hour or two. A big, massive hall like this has clerestory windows up above. The fire is burning down low. We're just going to get this off the screen here for you. There we go. You can let you have the smoke for a minute. And they're not going to try cleaning up or obscure anything. This is a statement. They're leaving this statement here. So what they're going to do now is work their way down this way. And they decided not to go over to this side just yet and make sure that this area, which they pretty sure connects to the front entrance, is secure, because there's a couple of doors over there before they do anything else. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to switch the map. Okay, they're going to head back to the south. Remember, north is always the top for you. Every time you see these maps, the top of the screen, the character's weight oriented, the north is to the top. North is to the top. So you got north, east, west, and south. So we're going to switch maps, clean up all these nasty, stinky corpses, get them out of here. And then we're going to form a tactical formation and start moving back down here. So first, but one thing we're going to do, we're going to switch maps, because this great hall has a large entryway and a pair of double doors, and they want to go check that out first. So let's get all these baddies out of the way first. We're going to put them in this cool box here, right, with all the other baddies. So let's get rid of them. You never know when you're going to need one of these, right? So let's get this out of the way, and we're going to lift our heroes for a minute. set them aside while I lift the glass, and we're going to switch maps. And this will just take a moment because I got the maps right. Next, I mean, everything's all ready to go. Let's just slide. There we go. So, remember, north is always going to be to the top for you. So we're going to slip this underneath here. And then we can start moving on to the next area. Now, if you were the party, you just won a bunch of battles. You probably think to yourself, you know what, there's probably nothing really left here but a bunch of scrub guards. But with this visiting cloud giant, where is he staying? You know, what did he bring with him? We saw the 3 stone giants that interrupted them in one of the hallways after they wiped out a bunch of nursemaids. Anyone want to buy this map? I'll sell it to you. What they're thinking now is let's start moving down to the southern section. We have Zolorus and Mercedes up in the front. Vrinjar's going to hide in shadows over here, and we're going to do those rolls in a minute. We have the cleric in the back. Obscura's going to be back in the back here. And we have the druid by Obscura. And Elephantisi's going to switch sides and move to the other side. So they're thinking, okay, we got to check because there's been visitors here. So when you have all these visitors, that also means that you know, they're staying, and they've all been killed, pretty much, they think, at this feast. So where's their stuff? What other information do they have at their disposal? So let's get Vrinjar going here with his hide and shadows check. And I'm going to actually increase the size on this so we can see the character stats again and get that information up for you. There we go. And we're just going to pull this down a little bit like this. I'll every now and then want to adjust the map for you so it's nice and clean. There we go. Okay, so you ready to play? Let's do it. Hide and shadows for him is a total joke. Absolutely easy. HS68, both him and Philippanese are easy 68s. So let's just do both those rolls at the same time. Here goes Vrinjar. That's a 60 even. And Elfanisi, we'll do purple for her, is 39. Now, I got some feedback from some folks saying that I take the dice away too quick. So I'll try to chill out on that. I try to keep things moving. I think sometimes I try to go too fast. I also investigated an idea of adding another crappy old camera that maybe can end up being like a dice camera, but I can't find a good way to mount it yet. So if someone knows a good way to do that, I can actually put a picture-in-picture view maybe down here somewhere, and we can have a close-up view of the dice. You can see some of these epic rolls that happen, especially all the ones. You got to see those, right? And another thing, well, here's what we're going to do now. So they're both hidden in shadows quite easily. And as usual, they're going to move forward. Now, one thing we always like to do is like to think about the environment. Pretend this is a level in a computer game, right? So these are torches. So you got the smoke kind of drifting up this way. All the smoke is always going up towards the ridge line. These construction, this is like heavy timber construction facility, huge, massive arches holding up this big ceiling. And down here, there's huge, massive oak, iron-bound oak doors. You may want to read on the Patreon side about how I like to do the rolls so the doors open to keep them from making noise. So you got these massive torches going up like this, going up with that. So all this smoke is rising. And you may remember me describing to you before that if this is a wall and this is the floor, and here's a human-sized character standing here, right, like this, these torches are up here. So you got torches up here burning. It's like a side view, right? This is the ground here. So here's a dude with this shield and a sword or whatever. And so big cool helmet. And so here's a torch. So it's like you got to kind of reach up and take a jump. So it's like trying to reach up and grab a basketball goal. So the torch smoke is all happening and drifting up above like that. So you're not really having to like worry about him being underneath it. Sometimes with the temperature changes and the air movement, though, that smoke can come down low. But in this situation, let's not worry about it. So Elefanisi is going to zip on down here. Remember, she's a 24 movement rate all the way down to here and listen at this door. Vrindra's going to come listen at this door here. Mercedes, who's kind of becoming the leader, the tactical leader, and Zolorus is the quiet backup DPSer. And the Druid is going to stay here and pass without trace, which is another rule I like to do. It's a little bit different than the normal rule set. And we've got more smoke happening up here. Nasty place, and it probably reeks of blood. Or you may also remember the last episode there was a nasty ice storm that hit across here, but that's all melted away. That's like 6 or 7 turns away, like 6 hours ago. Excuse me, maybe an hour or so ago. So let's do some hear noise check. Now, one thing's this level 10 assassin, level 10 monk, 30% chance. Remember, I have a special rule for that. You can still hear something, but you can't identify it. So let's go Elefanisi first at this lower door in the south. Okay, that's a 39. And I'll tell you what happens with that rolling in a minute. And here's a 53 for Vrinjar. So she listens. Now for Eliphanisi, she's just going to hear the drips of water from the rain that's kind of stopping, coming to a standstill now. There's no movement. There's no running around. There's no footsteps in the mud. There's no whinny of horses. The wind's not really blowing much anymore. In fact, she probably mostly just hears this torch burning and echoing this torch. So she just hears the room sounds. Now he's over here. Now he hears mumbling. And, if I was the DM and you're sitting right in front of me, I said, listen, you hear this weird kind of guttural mumbling happening behind the door, but you can't, it sounds like more than 3 or 4 voices, but you can't tell exactly how many. You can't tell whether it's hill giant mumbling. You can't tell whether it's ogre mumbling. It's certainly not common mumbling, and it's not tiger nomad type dialect either. So he's going to whisper over to her. They can hear each other pretty easily. Remember, each one of these squares is 5 feet, 5, 10, 15. That's like talking the length of a basketball court from the free throw line. So going to turn and signal back to everyone else that there's noise in here. And she's like, let's go ahead and kick in the door. Confidence level is super high. This isn't the kind of door you're going to kick in. Everyone's going to reposition to barge into these doors. They pull out, so they're going to have to pull a door out, maybe try pulling both the doors out. And she says, listen, let's just pull these 2 doors open, and then we want you 2 to slip into the shadows and come in second. And we're going to get everyone else positioned with a clear line of sight for any kind of spell casting and healing support. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to clear this out a little bit. And we're going to have Mercedes and Zolaris. Let's just get their sheets up so you can see. Remember, Mercedes is 16 string. She's not massively powerful, but she has a lot of good leadership skills. And Zolaris is 16 as well. So these aren't 1850 mega super steroid users, right? But they're very strong. Now, I'm not going to do a fancy roll here. They're just going to pull the door chain, pull the door ring, and pull the door open. It's on a hinge, even though it's heavy. Pulling the door open is not the most difficult thing to do in the whole world. There's no concern for, it's making a bunch of noise or anything like that. So when they pull that door open, this is the space that's right behind it. Let's just get that map situated here. First thing I'm going to do is get these 2 percentile dice out of the way. Let's just slide this in here like this. And we're going to move the map and shuffle people just a little bit. There we go. There you go. Now don't move map, because I got to move shuffle people back. So we're going to have, remember, let's actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to clean that chicken scratches off. Let's do that real fast. Ah, joy. Okay. And this is a little crooked. Now you're really there, right? Okay. Vrenjard's over here. The Druid and other caster. Obscura, the Illusionist, are going to be in the back. Let's turn them so you can see them good. Cleric of support. Elephanese over here. Pull the doors open. So as they pull these doors open, they see a bunch of orcs in ragtag armor milling about this pretty much darkened room with only one torch going. There's a torch over here. There's a torch here, but it's not lit. And there's a torch over here. It's the only torch. So all they're casting shadows across the room like this. And in front of them is this big table covered with huge amounts of hill giant helmets, almost like you'd see in Norman Invader helmets. It looks like there's 30 helmets. And these guys are kind of standing with their weapons ready, and they're kind of like holding their weapons, and they're kind of nervous like this. And when the door starts to open, they're all just staring at the door. So as soon as they get the doors open, they see these folks over here, and then they start going, blah, and start yelling stuff in Orcish. Now, none of these characters can speak Orc at all. They don't even know what they're saying. But we're going to do hide and shadows check and see if these 2 can slip in the door. Okay, that's what their goal is. These 2 have finished pulling the door open. These 2 are just going to stay here and gauge the reaction. Now, this is going to be a surprise roll first to see where the Orcs can do something first, or whether the party can finish the move and have our 2 stealthers slip in. So we always like to use the black ugly dice for the baddies. Okay, let's see what their initiative roll is. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And for our party, let's see, where can we roll that so you can see it good? You can see it okay up here, right? All right, 4, and 8, and 9. So the Orcs get to move first. So here's what they're going to do. If I was standing here and I was an Orc, and I've been hiding in here, and I know what these Orcs are doing. Okay, I know what their agenda is and how many of them there are. They're trying to be tough. They're trying to be brave. They've heard the carnage happening. They are just going to try to haul butt over to this room. So they're all trying to run this way. This guy's going to run around this way and try to cut off. This guy realizes he's getting botched up, and he starts to move around this way as well. Now, let's quickly do the hide and shadows check for And that's just in time for Mercedes and Zars to be here. But then this is the next set of moves that are going to happen here. You're going to have Mercedes and Vernjar slip in. But let's do their hide and shadows check first, right? So I'm not going to keep switching to this teach all the time because I know you probably know what they are by now. But I'll do it periodically, try to keep it safe. So it's 68% for both of them. 68% for him. And if you see down hers hide and shadows is 68 as well. So no, they never saw them, so they're not as concealed. They don't need to worry about being as concealed. All right, there's an 83. That means Verinjar thinks he's hidden in shadows, but he's stepping in. As soon as he steps in, this guy and him, they're bam, right into each other. Elephanisi is a 54. She steps in, the same thing happens. So imagine you're trying to sneak in, you're doing this stealthy move, and the orc sees you, and you see the orc, and the orc's like, oh my god, but you're completely not intimidated. So Verinjar's just going to go ahead and just bam and attack. Elephanisi's going to do the same thing, open hand attacks on him. But these guys see him coming in the doorway, and they're almost like, oh shit. So they're just going to run and push this door open, and come on, and they all run into this room in here, okay? So now, let's resolve this combat right here, okay? Give me a second to get my super cool DM cheat book. Oh, look, more red markers. Now, what could that possibly mean? So where's our orcs at? I put them in here. There we go. So these guys, they're typical orcs, but these guys are like orc rebels. These are orcs who have tried to rally together, to band together, to escape the torment. I move these off screen because you can't see them anymore. Of these hill giants. Imagine you're an orc and you're having a dish out food and chop up lambs and get bullied by dire wolves and all this other whoop-de-boo, and you have to do moving wagons around. It's completely not fun. So to hit AC 0, these orcs are like AC 6. Okay, so let's just go to Verinjar, do his combat first. AC 0 is a 12, minus the 6 means he only needs a 6 or higher. Remember, he's a dual wielder. The main hand's going to get a -2 penalty. So there's his -2 penalty. That's a 10. That's a hit. And his offhand is a complete miss. So his damage is 1d8 plus 6. One day I'll have it memorized. 1d8 plus 6 on the first orc. That's 8 damage. This guy immediately drops dead. So he gets splattered with a main hand hit. Bam, right there. Slumps slides on the ground. His whole corpse, the follow through takes him forward. Slumps this guy underneath the table. Doesn't hit any of the legs. The table still stays the same. And when he does that, this guy sees this, and it throws him off guard. Excuse me, sorry about that. Let's do Elephanisi's attack. She's hitting AC 6 as well, and her to hit AC 0 is 14, so she only needs an 8 or higher, but she has no dual wield penalty, okay? So this is her main hand is 12 and a 16, so both of her attacks hit. Now remember the monk rule. It's been a while. Eventually I'll stop repeating it, but it's a really, really neat rule that's only in first edition that I know of. Is the monk's stun is just super duper duper nasty, okay? So there's a stun for 1d6 rounds, 1 to 6 segments. Remember, in this situation, my combat, every round's a segment. That's a 4 segment stun. That's 24 seconds, right? The reason why that's happened is because she rolled 5 or higher to hit her target. There's a flat out chance she would kill the target too, based upon the armor class plus the additional percentage for a level. I know I'm talking super fast, but let's just get on with it. 7% chance to just flat out kill that guy. So let's just give her a percentile roll. You never know. 72. So the hit doesn't flat out kill him, but I can tell you this, it's going to do enough damage to just wipe him out in a heartbeat. So 3 to 13 is her damage with her open hand attacks, which is a 1d10 plus 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Actually doesn't kill him. It's not enough damage to wipe him out. So he gets actually to attack back. Now, the motion it took for those two to attack and the other guys to go in, this door goes clunk, and you hear a bunch of orcs yelling in this area behind here. This door is now closed, and you hear it being hammered and stuff like they're trying to seal it up. So you can tell the orcs are freaked out. Mercedes and Zalus, I'm going to allow them to come into the room. I'm going to have Mercedes go this way. She doesn't know if there's anything over here. And have Zalus go this way. Zalus immediately hears the hammering on the door and runs forward and just takes his foot and gives it a big kick. So that's what I would do if I was a player. So what's a good way to check for that, right? There's no rule for that. So I just think it's a 16. I'll roll a d20. I know how many orcs are behind this door trying to push and hold it closed. So I'm going to make him have to roll half his strength or less on a d20. Okay? Half his strength or less. So he needs to roll an 8 or less to kick that door early enough and fast enough to prevent them from closing it and locking it all the way. 8 or less. Ready? Here we go. A 16. So he rushes up and he kicks the door, but the guys on the other side push back and it slams closed. And then he hears a bunch of yelling and he hears somebody skittle and fall and slip on the ground. So he's going to actually try to bash the door in with his shoulder, but he's not going to get to do that just yet. So Mercedes slips in and she's like, I'll just take my Zweihander, my two-handed sword, and just jab this guy with a simple, easy thrust. So for her hitting this AC, she cannot miss, okay, unless she rolls a 1. So this orc, who's pretty heavily wounded, actually, let's just give her roll a 17. It's almost not worth rolling it, but half the fun sometimes is the overkill. So for her, this is against a normal-sized opponent. So for her normal opponent, damage is 1 to 10 plus 5. That's a 10 plus 5. That's max damage. Boom! So this guy gets skewered, almost split right in half, and he just slumps down and hits the table, knocks a bunch of helmets out of the way, and she's going to take a step forward with that attack. Zolars is here. Vrinjar is very agile. These two are like, let's just shuffle step forward. Okay? We're not really ready to jump in yet. Vrinjar runs over to where Zolars is. She pushes Elefanici out of the way and rushes forward, and she's like, get out of the way. So this is the one thing I like to do with these characters. Mercedes is a excessively confident leader. Okay? She thinks that saving this child is up to her personally. She and her brother and her sister, there's 3 of them, they're outnumbered by the Tiger Nomads. The Tiger Nomad group are very collaborative. They understand what life is about. They know how to rely on each other. They don't really have a problem with her attitude, but if she steps up and tries to be this bossy boot sergeant and get out of the way, they're just going to step back and let her do it. They all know that ultimately they have to work together. But from a personality perspective, I'm going to give her a chance to smash this door while it's being held down the other side. So here's how we're going to do this. This will be fun. I'm going to do a 3d6 roll for the orc side, and I'm going to do a 3d6 roll for Mercedes side, and I'll give her that +1 damage bonus she has with 16 strength. So the orcs, I'm not giving them any bonus. So the orcs get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what does Mercedes do? She takes her big pauldron or her plate mail and just slams into it, holds a two-handed sword off to the side a little bit. 6, 7, 8. Ooh, that's 12. But I'm going to give her +1 is 13. So that's super. Did she beat it? She beat it by 1, didn't she? Yep, 6 and 6 is 12. This is 12, and her +1 strength means she hit it just enough. Now, I'm not going to make it a dramatic, the whole door falls in and everyone collapses behind it, but what she's able to do is hit this hard enough to knock a couple of these flunkies back off guard. I'm going to give them a crappy dex check behind the scenes here just to see what happens. So you can't see this roll, sorry. Okay. These 2 guys lose their balance and fall backwards, and she takes a step in. And then Vrinjar and Zolars are going to be right behind her. So these 2 are going to take a move here. Elefanici's 24 movement rate. She's just going to zip around over here to make sure there's no other doors, there's no one hiding in the corners, because remember, there's just one torchlight, so this will be completely obscured in darkness. Excuse me, a little coughing going on. So now we need to see the next room, but what I want to do, this next room is actually kind of large, okay? I don't know if you'd be able to see it all the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shuffle things over. So we're just going to shuffle this map real quick. So remember where everybody is. These 2 are in the hallway. Elefanice is in the corner. They're right in the doorway. We don't need these 2 dead dudes anymore. They're in the way. Get rid of them. We have lots of baddies in this room. But what we are going to do is we're going to slip this out of here. And we're going to reposition everything so you can see both rooms in case the fight backs up a little bit. All right? So this is the room that they're going into. Let's recenter this in the camera for you a little bit so you can see better. Okay, and then we're going to put this in here. Let's put this like this. I think it might be better if the other map's on top. What do you think? Let's do that. Let's put the other map on top. There we go. This is almost as cool as computer graphics. There we go. That's good enough. And let's make sure that amazing, fragile, breakable Home Depot glass doesn't get leaned on too heavily. All right. Now, where is everyone? So, Mercedes took a step into the room. Zolars is right behind her. Elefanici's over here. I'm going to go ahead and allow the Druid and Obscura and the Cleric to step into the room. She slammed the door open. She can see everything in the room, and so can you. So we've got the 2 orcs that lost their balance. They're not prone or any kind of disadvantage or anything because it kind of happened at the same time. And we have all these orcs. Orcs is, if you're a golem, in this room. huddled together but well armed and with weapons on. Some of them are wounded, but it's tight quarters. So what's this room like? This room has one torch burning on this wall. Okay, so a little bit of smoke is zipping up this way. And immediately, so the light's calling this way. So these guys are all backlit. This one here is not lit. This door over here is closed, and this guy here is trying to get the door open. So he's trying to, it's almost like they're struggling to get the door open because they're the same size as humans. So you have these massive poles that stand straight up. They go up 15 feet in the air, okay? But they're like spear stands. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spears all leaning against this pole and clipped into place with these little hooks. So to keep the spears from falling down, so you go up, it's like a bunch of pool cues. You just leave the hook, put the next one on the hook, next one on the hook, next one on the hook. So it kind of makes it awkward. No one really can move over in this area. Now along the walls, there's all these hill giant shields. All these things you're seeing here are all shields. So every single one of these things are just shields mounted on the wall. You just go up and grab it and just pull it off the wall. Okay? So it's almost like an armory, if you want to keep it simple. Now right here in front of everyone, these aren't TIE fighters. You have these barrels with two-handed swords with the hilt sticking out. So you can tell right away, as soon as you step in the room, let's go ahead and get everybody in the room a little bit better. A little bit better. Where's Renchar? Here he is. The room's too small. 2 orcs right here in front of Mercedes. We're going to roll for initiative for this group, okay? We'll roll for initiative for this group to see what they do. Whether they're going to try to bail and just keep filtering and get out of here, or if they see their 2 buddies falling and just think that they can fight here because this is a choke point, okay? So let's roll for initiative for the baddies. We'll use the black dice for them. 3, 4, 5, 6. And for our legendary multinational hero group, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 5. What is wrong with my math skills? They win. So Mercedes can attack. Zollers can attack. They're going to each attack the orcs as they're standing back up. I'm not going to give any kind of armor class penalty or anything of that nature. Zollers will only miss on a 1. Mercedes will only miss on a 1. And we'll just get these initiative dice over here for your reference. So this is Mercedes, a 2, and Zollers a 14. And her damage against a normal size target is 1 to 10, if I'm not mistaken, plus 5. 1 to 10 plus 5. This guy's splattered. He falls back into the spears. She takes a step forward with the 2-handed swing. With Zollers, remember, he's got a very, very nice, a beautiful glaive. It's called the Burning Glaive. It does 1d10 damage against any size. It does 2d8 plus 1 on normal size targets, which is like human size and orc size. And it does additional 1d8 fire damage. Now, I always think it's great to see their profiles, but I got all this stuff down here too to tell you what dice rolls to do when you're a silly DM with bad math skills. So, so what we need to roll here? What's this number? What does it say? 1d8 plus 4, and then that's a 5. But then there's also a 1d8 in fire damage. 5 and 5 is 10. This guy's dead. He's just skewered. He pulls a blade back out right to the stomach, and the guy drops in the spot. So this guy's going to rush forward. He's 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 going to try to get the door, and he's going to be in the middle of like, I'm not sure what to do yet. So I'm going to give this group here a chance to attack. I'm going to give him a chance to attack Zollers. I'm going to wait for after that. Then I'll do initiative for this group here. So it's kind of like this guy is able to attack as the follow through happens, and then from this point forward, we're going to do initiative for that pack. Okay. He's doing the attack as almost like a counter strike after he attacked him. All right. Fair enough. So, what do our orcs need to hit Zollers and his armor? I believe he's like -2, -1. All right. Orcs are only like 2 hit dice. Okay, 2 hit dice doesn't give you much to work with when you're, even though you're a rebel. Let's see if I can find my. Here we go. Here we go. Here's our orc boys to hit AC 0, 19, and 17. So he needs a 17. Okay. They're just using long swords. A 16, so he takes a swing, barely misses. Now let's do what I promised. Let's do initiative roll for this pack and then the party, okay? And we'll clean this little mess up here too. And once that initiative happens, then we'll put all these orcs on the same initiative roll, okay? So, orc roll, 9, 3, 12. Whoops, well that's good, leave the 2 there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So orcs get to go first. So that means that this orc's going to come in here, take a step over his comrade, and try to get on Zalaris, and this orc's going to come right behind, but he doesn't know whether to do anything to get to Mercedes. He can't get to Zalaris. So he's in range to be struck by her, so he's going to use the body to stay back, and as he's just going to come in and try to flank him. So let's get some rolls to attack happening. This orc needs a 19 to hit Zalaris. Can he do it? No. So he takes attack, swings, miss. Mercedes going to swing and hit him in the back. She can only miss on a 1. 5. Let's do her damage. And she is... I'm so used to doing giant damage, I forgot what it's like to do small damage. It's 1d10 plus 5. Whoa, there's a 10. Oops, that's the wrong die. You don't mind me doing that, do you? I know I snatched away quick. That's a D100. That's the 10-sided, the 10-sided, the decade side. That on a D10, that would have been a 10. Okay, technically it's the wrong roll. When you roll percentile die, like that would be 004, right? But in this case, it's a 10. So it says as if I, because there was no 0 die on the 10s die. It's as if I rolled a 10 on, which would be this. Right, you get it, right? This guy's dead, splattered. So Zalaris is going to push in to this group here and attack with his glaive, try to hit both targets at the same time. Kind of little Conan Unchained action going on. The way we're going to do that is just do a roll to hit on the primary target, and the secondary target I'll give it a -2. So Zalaris has like an easy job, easy chance hitting this guy. I mean, the hit AC 0 for him is 6. These guys are armor class 6. It's just like you can only miss on a 1. So let's just roll it twice. Actually, let's just roll it once and see if it hits either one. So a 9, that's easily hits both targets. So, and his damage again is on small is 2d8. Excuse me, is that right? No, that's not 2d8. Yeah, I need to roll 2d8 plus 1. That's a total with the fire damage. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and then plus 1 is 8. This guy is dead. Let me just double check that. Oh yeah, he's dead. And it hits the second guy. We're going to roll the damage on him. 2d8 plus 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1. He's dead too. He's splattered. So that big heavy overhand swing would put him out of position, and he would do fall through like this. If he swing it backhanded, since he's right-handed, Mercedes is going to have an opportunity to take a step here. Let's see if these two guys are able to decide what to do. I'm going to give them a quick little initiative roll, just kind of a dexterity morale check. If I rolled 10 or less on 3d6, they're able to slip out the door. Uh-oh. What is that at 13? 14, excuse me. These two are history. So they're out of line of sight. We're going to move them for the boards because you can't see where they are. And put them over here. We got a guy back here in the back. Okay? And what has he been doing? I didn't pay attention to him now, did I? What would he have done? While all that melee was going, about 2 or 3 swings, he probably would have slipped down to here and thought about maybe attacking. But once he saw how things went bad, I'm going to have him go out the door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a chance for these two to intercept him when he's about here and rush and hit him, okay? So what's a good, fair way to do that? Well, I think just a good old-fashioned 3d6 competition roll is good. So here's Batty trying to escape. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, let's do it this way. There's 9 and 3 is 12. And what's our legendary heroes roll? A 12. Oh, okay. So that's a tie. So she's able with Zalaris to meet him at the same time. Now, while that's happening, we have Rinjar's able to slip into the room. He's not hiding in shadows. Eliphanesi's been able to move up to here, but we're going to have Untola go ahead and go in. Obscure slips in here. The Druid slips in here. They hear the fighting and the combat. Obscure's going to stay in the back. Eliphanesi's going to try to zip in behind Untola. And Rinjar's able to get here just in time. They clear out and make room for this. So now we're going to have another situation where this guy is disengaging. It's almost like a free attack because he's not trying to fight back. He's not participating in the melee. It's almost like an attack of opportunity in later rules. So we're going to give Mercedes and Zalaris an attack of opportunity. If they both miss, then he can slip out the door. Otherwise, he's going to be blown open. Okay, so Mercedes nails him with a 2, and Zalaris nails him with a 16. I'm not even going to roll damage. This dude's instantly killed. Now, the door's open, so Zalaris can take a 1 step, and she can take a 1 step. She can see what's happened. So what actually happens is we have a bunch of orcs running out the door, running out this door over here. And then we have orc over here running into this room, running down here as well. They've run down this way. This guy's in the doorway. takes a step forward, realizes the passage goes left and realizes the passage goes right. The lighting is kind of odd. She's not just going to blindly chase these guys. When she sees the door open, she realizes that it goes to a room she's seen before. Let me go grab that map and I'll show it to you, but I won't put it on the board. So this is just going to be for your reference. So you may remember this from the very, very, very second episode. Let's get this map eraser out of the way. So this was the entry room where the party came in, this first entrance. It's all muddy. There was guards. There's the two braziers that lead to the big hallway, a bunch of bags hanging on the wall, a bunch of spears and boulders. And there was a big nasty fight where a couple of jokers were dead, were sleeping here. They got wiped out. And then Mercedes, Elefanisi had a big fight with a guard here. They had a guard come down from below. They threw bodies out the window. All that kind of business happened in episode 2. Go check it out. So this door here is a door our two orc buddies go out of, and they just bolt. They are gone. They are not going to stay around at all. They've seen enough. They are out of here. They've been waiting for their chance to get out of here. So I just wanted to refresh your memory what happened with that, because our party is not pursuing. Okay? What she's going to do, he's going to take a step and check this hallway. So he's going to look down that way, see if he sees anything. She's just going to take a step and think about it for a second and catch herself on, because the party's being dragged like a dragon tail, and that's a real bad tactical situation. Her instincts tell us stop moving, stop chasing. Okay? So orcs running away, no biggie. Vrinjar comes to here. He realizes this is a tactically different situation as well. And the three of them meet. And they're going to have Elefanisi slip past Antola and move quickly. And now we're going to have everyone in this corridor, pretty much. Antola and, Helchirna and Obscura are here. We'll have Antola actually here. And here's Mercedes. Here's Vrinjar. Elefanisi's going to try to hide in shadows almost immediately the moment she gets to this corridor. Let's give her that 68% roll. And we're going to do the same thing for Vrinjar. All right. That's a 70. She thinks she's hidden in shadows, but she's going to try moving up the corridor very quickly. I'm going to give her a move silently check as well. Her MS is 83. So 44. She moves silently, but she's not hidden in shadows. He's going to do the same thing. Same kind of roll. Same exact numbers for both of them. Okay? Hide in shadows is 68. He's completely concealed. Move silently for him. 83. 69. So he's completely hidden and concealed, and he's going to catch up to her. And she moves really quickly, though. So they kind of move off in the shadows, and Zalus just sees him kind of fade away, because he can see Elefanisi, but he can't really see Vrinjar very well because of the darkness. She takes a step forward to put herself in the center to assess the command. Antola goes here. He goes down to the hallway. These guys bolt. They are gone. They are history. High-speed Nike runners. And he looks out the window. He looks into the other room, like we talked about before, and he can tell they're gone. They have fled. They're happy to be free once again. We won't be finding them again anytime soon. Not in the Yato Mountains. Obscura comes into the corridor. The druid comes in the area here, and she's looking around. She's sniffing. She's smelling. She's trying to detect any kind of animals. Nothing's going on special. Everything seems normal. Mercedes like, on me, rally on me. So Vrinjar comes down the hallway. Elefanisi comes zipping back. There's just a door. So she says, there's just a door at the end of the hallway. There's no light under the door. I think we're okay. I don't think anyone hurt us. She's like, okay, great. Well, what are we going to do next? So they've got a couple door options to think about here. So they've got, this is a mistake. Ignore this. There's a door right here. There's a door right here. We've been making noise. We've been talking. If there's anything behind the door, they're going to hear us. Let's just open it and go in. And they say, you know what? There's no time to waste, because it could be other parties and other members fleeing this area as well. So we're just going to immediately go open this door and see what's behind it. So I'm not going to give them any kind of roll to open the door. I'm just going to let them go ahead and open it. And let's just draw on here with a marker what they can see beyond without having, and then I'll switch maps once they actually decide to move into the area. So this wall continues onward, down like this. And it's another 10-foot wide passageway like this. And down here a ways is a door. Okay? So they're just going to move into this hallway. Zalaris and Mercedes side by side. It's 10 foot wide. They can go abreast. followed by Mercedes. Vrendra's going to go down the hallway and do a hear noise check. If you're a player, you're playing the assassin, you're by yourself, people are all doing this, you don't need to run back. He's going to go check for hear noise. 30% chance. Okay, he doesn't really hear anything at all. He doesn't think there's anything going on. Druid and Obscura stay here until it comes back to rejoin the party. So we're going to switch maps, okay? Remember Vrendra's here. He's going to stay here and keep tabs on the door. There's a door at the end of this corridor. He's not going to let anyone come through the doorway. We're going to have the Druid come down here and assist him. We're going to have Eilserv come down here and stay in this hallway as well. And Obscura and Untola are going to stay in the corner while these two open a door and move down this way. So we need to switch maps, okay? Remember where everybody is. And we'll be right back. And we don't need any more dead people. This just take me a second. Let me clear this off too. When you're doing the mop up, there's no need to waste any time. Because people and baddies could be trying to escape. There's been noise. Who knows what's happened in the other hallway. So we've got this corridor, and I'm going to draw it for you. We're going to do this one the old-fashioned way until someone opens a door. Okay? So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide it from you while I draw it. So we're going to hide that from you for a second. And I can just do a trace. Because I don't let you see into rooms that you haven't got the door open yet. But this next map has some doors. So this will just take me a second. I'm just going to draw this real quick. I'm just going to pull that out from underneath there. And I'll pop that down. Once the party, you're controlling the party, not me. Once you actually get in there. Let's just give you the camera again so you can see. Voila. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so where was everyone? So we had Eilserv. Oops. Eilserv and the Druid. Let's just pull this over like this a little bit. We have Mercedes. We have Zalaris. Stepped into the corridor. 10-foot wide corridor. Vrendra all the way down here. Let's just do this like this. We just extend this up to here. Hiding in shadows, concealed. Waiting to support. Door goes this way. There was a door here the orcs fled out of. They all boogied it out of here and left. Elvis has left the building. And Tola is going to be here. And Obscura is going to set herself up here. Cool. And we're going to put this back because it's fun. There you go. Put that on. Put this over here. There you go. You can watch that burn. All right. So what happens? Long 20-foot ceiling hallway. 1, 2, 3. Behind door number 1, number 2, number 3. Here's a torch burning. This one's active. There's torchlight coming, casting down this hallway here as if there's a torch here. But they can't see beyond this. So they're just going to move slowly, confidently, in a ready stance with weapons drawn and ready, and try to get to this first door here. And she's going to move to one side, and he's going to move to the other. And they're going to try, they're not rogues or anything, or stealthers, to listen behind the door. So what I'd like to do in this kind of situation is just give you a d20 roll and compare it to your intelligence. Okay? And then I'll decide how much information to give you. So Mercedes' intelligence is a 16. Let's give her a roll. That you're the player, you get to do the roll. Okay, that's lower than your intelligence. The higher you are, the more intelligent you are, the lower the roll you need. His is only 11. They both listen quite well. And they think they hear more mumbling in here. Very similar to what they heard before. It sounds like orc mumbling, but they just can't tell how many. But it sounds like very nervous and orcs going, stop moving around, they'll hear us, that kind of talking. The same kind of tone and language like that. So she signals to Untola to come down here. So she's going to have him come down here. It's probably more orcs in here. Obscura is going to set up her shop right here. Eilserv is going to peek, see what's going on. She's like, listen, let's push this door in and just go for it. And it's like, sure, okay. So she's going to push the door open. Boom. Push the door open, and then the two of them are going to just filter in and rush in the door. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch maps and handle this section, Everyone else is going to be off screen while that's happening in the background. And we're going to pull these two here. And I've got the map ready for you right here. It'll just take me a second to switch it. Clearing the compad. Check those corners. All right. And what room is that? 16. Finished 16 last night for you, so it's coming up here in a second. Here we go. And I'll probably adjust the camera a little bit so you can see it better. Let's put it right about there. There we go. All right, so you have, that's crooked. We can't have a crooked map. That's not nearly as cool. No, Ogre drew this map. I drew it. All right, there's Mercedes, kicked in her front door, confidence as high as dollars right under her side with his burning glaive. Hope he doesn't burn her hair. Behind is Untold. He's just going to step in the doorway. Obscura is here, ready to go. We have Varinjar off the scene, but here's the door down here we were talking about earlier. Let me just adjust the camera here a little bit so you can see what's going on up there. So we're just going to pull this up. In fact, I can probably just do this. Let me reduce this in size, and we'll pull this up. There we go. Now you can see the reflection of the lamp in the background. And we'll pull this over here so you can see more board. And we'll just adjust this lamp so it's not so horrible. There we go. It's a key light. All right. Let's pull that back. In fact, you know what? We can kill it. We have better lighting. There's the cooler lighting. All right. So what does she see in this room? Oh, my goodness. What did you expect? What did you think she'd see in this room? More and more and more orcs. This dirty orcs with no armor on, huddled in the corners, hiding behind beds, clutching at knives from the kitchen. Absolutely freaked out and terrified. Okay? But in the front are two ogres with flint spears and flint offhand hatchets. And let's get these guys switched out. I have another icon for him. We're going to put this fella here and this guy back here. There we go. Leave him here, sorry. Let me just double check where I marked these in my DM book for this room. Yep, okay. Just make sure I got them in the right spot. No cheating. So, two ogres bust in the front door. They knew something was going on. And we need... Where's Eilserv gone to? I've lost the room. There they are. I thought I lost my monk, man. There she is. Troublemaker. Here's the druid. Eilserv was peeking to make sure what's going on. He's going to come in right behind them this time. Step in the room. Roll for initiative. Now we're getting back to the combat. Roll for initiative for this first group, okay? In fact, I'm going to roll for initiative just for this group because these two guys are a little bit on the like, oh crap, I don't want to deal with this. And this group back here is completely sad mode, okay? So they don't want to do that. These guys here, especially these two jokers in the front, which are ogres, they don't have a problem with this. So let's give the ogres and the two lackeys a roll for initiative, okay? You ready? So what do you got? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what is our first two warriors and the cleric? I'm going to make them a group. What do we get? 6, 7, ooh, a 13. So we have 11 plus 1 is 12. And a 13, so they get to go first. So boom, she can charge him. He's going to charge them. They would actually meet her halfway, and the cleric's actually just going to run support from directly behind. So let me just clear that off real quick to get some of the mess out of the way. Now that you understand who's the groups, it would be easier for you to keep track of it without too much chicken scratching. So we've got the two ogres in the front and two lackeys behind. No one's taking any damage yet. Let's put that to the side. And you know, and with these two fighters in the front row, these ogres are going to get nailed. But let me just double check my stats here in my book. Ogres. What do we have? AC 7. So once again, only a 1 misses. These aren't supposed to be the kind of population that's a challenge. This is just part of how the facility works. These guys are labor, they're kitchen staff, they run errands, they do spying. These aren't supposed to be the challenge, but you got to clear this kind of stuff out before you can get to the next area. And you can see lots of sad face going on. That doesn't look very ogreish. Let's make that a little more ogreish, a big bent face and everything, big nose, crappy hair. balding, receding hairline. Okay, cool. Here's the ones, right? Roll a 1, you miss. Well, what's that? That's a 10 or a 12? What do you call that? Let's roll that again. There's a 2 and a 10. All right, so Mercedes hits. Actually, we'll go left to right this time. Let's do Zolorus first. So we already got his sheet open anyway. So against an ogre, I'm still going to call the ogre a medium target. It's 2d8 plus 1. So 2d8 plus 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 1. So we're going to do this here. Ogre 1, ogre 2, 6, 7, 9, 11, 11. He's at 8 now. These guys had 20 health each. And for Mercedes, her damage is against stinkers is 1d10 plus 5. That's 5. That's 10. All right, so both of these, one ogre is at 8. This guy's at 8. This guy's at 10. That's the end of the first attack round. What are these guys going to do? Okay? You're the DM. These guys just got nailed pretty heavy. That's more than half their health. I think they're just going to make it a little baby morale check. And let's just do it simply, okay? 3d6. What's the middle of this? It's between 3 and 18. Let's give them, they need to roll a 6 or less to not flee. All right, you ready? 6 or less to not flee. Otherwise, it'll be like, yeah, we're going to charge for it. We can help. Okay, there's a 6, 6, 7, 8. Nope, they're going to participate. So there's no room for them to get in because, I don't know if you noticed this, but in this room, we've got these braziers on poles. So it's not as many torches on the wall because of this barracks. These are all bunk beds, like crappy, shoddily made, rotted, stinky, pressure-treated pine bunk beds. So this here is like a brazier burning. So they're going to have to step around this. They can't like walk through the brazier. They burn themselves. So you got the first two guys are clogging us up. These two guys step around and clog us up. These two guys step around this way. So it's all a traffic jam. No one's trying to jump over the beds or anything. But what I am going to do is I'm going to have the cleric step over here. And I'm going to have him step over the bed and engage this target right away. He's also doing this. He's right-handed. That means his shield hand is facing this first orc. In fact, I'm going to let him take a swipe at that first guy. I think it's fair enough. He would have had an opportunity while Mercedes was swinging to do that. So our melee cleric is stepping up to the plate tonight. He's like, I'm tired of sitting in the back. No one needs healing. To hit AC 0, he only needs a 10. So he only needs a 4 to hit this guy right here in the back. Only needs a 4. A 20, natural 20, double damage. You got to like it. And this is 2d7, 2 to 7, which is 1d6 plus 1. All right. And the bonus of damage on that is plus 4. Right. So this is 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's not enough to kill this guy. But we're going to need to keep track of the health here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to write neatly. You can see this, right? Cool. Ogre 1, ogre 2 equals 1 was 10, 1 was 8. It's a wash. We're going to call this orc 1, orc 2. That's orc 1, orc 2. Go left to right. 3, 4, and 5. Orc. Oh, you can't read that. That's illegible. Let's do it this way. O1. O2, O2 arena, O3, O4, O5. No, it's not chemistry. All right. So he nailed this guy. Double damage. Didn't kill him. Put him down. What did he put him down? 1 plus 4 or 5 times 2 is 10. This guy's down to 4 health. So he's down to 4. So let's give these guys a chance to attack back. And we'll just keep the melee in this rotation. We won't keep rolling for initiative all the time. So let's do the attack on Zolorus with this guy here first. Squeaky chair. Zolorus is AC -1. These orcs, what do they need to hit AC 0? They need a 17. This is an ogre, though. Okay, he needs a 16. So these two guys need 16s to hit AC 0. That means this case needs a 17 to hit him. An 18. He does actually hit him. And this is only 1d8 damage because he's just using... I didn't do his offhand. Sorry about that. Here's the offhand. No, that misses. The main hand is a spear. Let's roll his damage with this. Main hand is a spear. The offhand misses. So Zolorus, bless his soul, takes 5 damage. All right, that's scary. Now Mercedes, the guy attacking Mercedes. Her armor is lower, much lower. In fact, we can just pull down to our little quick reference sheet here, make life a little easier. She's -2, so he's going to need a 19 to hit her, if I'm not mistaken. A 20, natural 20. We'll give him a double damage roll as well. That's the main hand. What about the offhand? Nope. So it's like spear, hatchet, spear, hatchet. So double damage on the spear attack on Mercedes. 3 plus 2 is 6. Nothing to worry about when you have 132 health, but Merc is -6. Okay. Right. You know what? And this background music is driving me crazy. Let's fix that. Where's our tunes, man? Here we go. Let's just fix this. Let's get some combat music going. If you're gonna plow through a bunch of guys that can't defend themselves, you gotta have some kind of music going. It's very soft, but whatever. Let's put this in here. There we go. That's our cool combat music. All right. This board is getting messy. He attacked damage him. He attacks you damage her. I'm going to give this guy a chance to attack the cleric. There's no way he's going to hit him. Just absolutely just no way. No way. He needs a natural 20 to hit him. His armor class is -4. Natural 20 to hit him. 17, he completely misses. Next round, let's just retaliate left to right. So Zollers can only miss on a 1. It's a 2. This guy's dead. There's no way he's living through it. We're getting rid of this guy right away. He's dead. There's no way he'll live through that damage. You know what? I shouldn't be doing that, should I? Am I rushing? I'm rushing just a touch, aren't I? There's no way he's going to live through this. There's no way. All right. 2d8 plus 1. 2d8 plus 1. He had 10 health, remember? I knew I was right. He's dead, just like I said. Okay, now Mercedes roll against him. She can only miss on a 1, an 8, an easy hit. And for her, she is 1d10 plus 5. Remember, that's a two-handed weapon. 1d10 plus 5, 7 damage. This guy had 8. Puts him down to 1 health. I'm not going to roll some system shock failure or anything, but what I'm going to have him do is like, he's just going to slump. And he just let's do a repositioning. So he's killed this target. He's able to step onto the target. She's damaged this guy. I'm going to have him reposition this way, and I'm going to have the cleric push into the group here and have him jump in and attack the cleric, okay? Now, let's give our cleric our battle cleric, our melee cleric, a chance to take a swipe. And to hit AC 0, he only needs a 10. These guys are armor class 6, so he needs a 4. 4 or higher, and he hits 3. He actually misses. Can you believe it? Should have done a shield slam, dude. Now, return fire. So this guy's really damaged. I'm actually going to have him make a quick little morale check to see whether he can continue fighting. 1 health left. That's really nasty. If I roll a 4 or less, if I roll 4 or less, he bails. Nope. He's gonna just try to fight and thinks he can damage her. That's just the stupidest thing you could ever do, dude. Let's give him a roll. He can only hit on a. Nope, a 6 doesn't hit. I'm gonna have her just one-shot him, okay, and get it over with. 18. I'm not even gonna roll the damage. 1 damage. He's dead. Splattered onto the bed, knocked backward, unconscious. Well, more than unconscious, into the afterlife, into another county. I give her enough as an easy jab with a two-handed sword. Come forward. This guy can step forward, meet her in the middle. Let's give him a swing on Mercedes. 13, there's no way that hits. Give her a retaliation swing, 1 or less. There's a 1. It's a flub. These are always entertaining. So you did this dramatic stab with your two-handed sword, jabbed this guy, slung him onto the bed. Zollers took a step forward. You can't swing the two-handed that way, so you do this big overhand, 1 left foot forward swing, and you completely flub the swing. The guy like leans to the right and dodges, and you end up being out of position, stepping through. Okay, and now you're facing the wrong way. This guy's going to turn around and strike you from behind, and you're moving into range for him. So you're now going to give attack of opportunity to both of these guys. This guy's going to stay on his target. Let's just say they shuffle like this. These guys are going to close in, but I'm not going to give them the attack of opportunity. Okay, I know it's a rule from another edition, but I still think it's worthwhile playing with. So these guys need 20s to hit her. Okay. There's a 12, that's a miss. There's a 13, a miss. That's not, even if I gave him a bonus, it wouldn't be enough to do anything. So she's fortunate enough to, even though she took a step, let's just give her a roll against her dexterity to be absolutely sure she didn't lose her balance and slip on the ground. Because she did just walk through some blood, could slip on a plate mail solarette cover of blood. Dex check, right? 3d6 easy. She should be able to do this just fine. That's a 14. Her dexterity is 15. It's 15. She's okay. She's good. Maintains her balance. If she rolled less than that, I would have had her slip on the blood and fall down on the ground prone. Okay. He just killed somebody. Kill, swing, and attack. Swing and a miss. 1, 2, 3. This other guy gets an attack opportunity. I didn't do his. He needs a hit on a 20. He misses. Everything's going to kind of do a reset. He's going to attack this guy. He's going to continue. These two can continue to melee. She needs to gather her thoughts and stand back up. She needs to know which way she's going to face, because I'm going to have her do a leap this way, almost like a big, heavy first step, and give these two guys 2 more attacks of opportunity, because she feels confident she'll do it defensively that they're not going to hit her. Okay, a 9 and a 14, they do not hit her. Now she's able to engage these two one-on-one. This guy doesn't really know who to attack. He can't get through the torch, so he's going to try to climb on the bed and come in here and take a swipe at the cleric. Now, it's not some massive, big, giant bed. To hit the cleric, he needs a 20, though. 2 completely misses. Let's give this guy an attack on a cleric. 15 completely misses. Let's give this guy an attack on Zalaris. An 8, that's a complete miss. Sorry, these guys are just so low. They're getting plowed through real quickly here. Let's go back to Zalaris. All right. Okay, Zalaris, what do you need to hit? 8. And he did a 1. Only a 1 will miss. Only a 1 will miss. So you can hit this guy 2d8 plus 1, if I'm not mistaken. 8 and 4 plus 1. This guy's dead. Let's give the roll for our cleric on the first target here. A 1. Another flub, a natural 1. So with the cleric, he's got the shield, takes a big heavy swing with his flail. Remember, his weapon is this. He has this big flail and a big shield on. So he's a very tanky kind of a guy. It's almost like a defender in Asheron's Call tool if you ever played that game. So this is a +4 flail. So with this type of situation, he doesn't have anything to his right. So he would swing a swooping right-hand swing like this. And that swooping right-hand swing is going to completely whiff. So his right hand's exposed, his chin sticking out, and he doesn't have his shield defending him. So I'm going to drop his AC down to 0 for the next melee round, okay? Let's just do a quick dexterity check, because he doesn't have the greatest dexterity in the whole world. What is it, 12? If he rolls 12 or less, he's okay. 12 or higher, I would use party dice, sorry. 12 or higher, and he slips. Okay, that's not good. He's going to slip. I'm actually going to have him fall through and stumble. I'm actually going to have him prone for a second. That means this guy can jump down and get a free hit, and he can jump down and get a free hit. Now, this is tricky. This guy's heavily armored. He has a +4 kite shield. I'm taking that away right off the bat. So that puts him down to 0. He has no dex bonus for his, but he's wearing +3 plate mail, and he has this necklace of the order. So these guys needed a natural 20 to hit him. I'm going to give these guys, to be very friendly, each a 15 to hit a guy lying on the ground to do damage. So it's almost like they're trying to hit a part of his body that doesn't have the heavy armor on it. So he needs a 15, a 12. He needs a 15, 11. That was very nice of them, very nice of me to give them a chance to damage him, but they didn't do anything. They just hit his armor, and he just rolled his shoulders, and the pauldrons rolled it off. So he gets back up for the next round. We're going to go over here to Mercedes, right? So she cannot miss. I'm going to have her do one of her sweeping two-handed attacks where she rolls to hit. I'm just going to give her, only unless she rolls a 2 or less, does she not miss the second guy. Okay, the first one hits, and it hits the second guy as well. Let's do a follow-through damage on that. And her damage with the two-handed against these fellas. She's the top of the list here. And we're just going to ignore the other kids for now to get the combat over with, because mowing through scrubs takes time. 1d10 plus 5. All right, here's an ugly purple one. 1d10 plus 5, 9 plus 5. This guy's dead. Let's roll the damage for him because it's a secondary attack. I'm going to take 2 damage away. 1d10 plus 5, that's 14. Take 2 away is 12. Let me check my book on that orc. Oh, he's dead too. It's easy to do when they're 1 hit die guys and 2 hit die guys. So these 2 guys dead. She wiped them out. A confident swing. If you were these 4, I think it's time to make a morale check. But you know there's nowhere to go. So here, let's do this way. They need to roll a 4 or less to remain brave and come forward and try to fight their way out. Otherwise, what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to run and skip over the beds and get past their comrade here and make it out the door and get out of here. So 4 or less to fight. No way. So every single one of these dudes is going to try to run and hop over the beds, go around the torches, and see if they can ninja their way past their buddy here and go out the door. Okay? And this guy sees them coming. Let's these 2 guys do the same kind of roll. We're going to need a 6 or less to stay and fight. Nope. These guys are going to try to bail too. So as he moves, there's an attack of opportunity for the cleric. So what does our cleric need to hit this guy? He's not even defending at this point. This guy's just trying to withdraw. Since he just fell down, I'm just going to make him anything 6 or higher will hit. Okay, so 13. So hits this guy. 2 to 7, which is 1d6 plus 1. Okay. That's 5 plus the 4. So he's going to wipe him out, hit him in the back of the head, knock him unconscious. These other guys go, whoa, this guy slams into him. He comes running here. He's going to take a step in, trying to intercept this guy. They're going to try to move down like this. Zollers is going to try to intercept. He's going to leap and run as quickly as he can straight over here to intercept. Now, how would you handle that? That's kind of a dexterity check. Dexterity is kind of like your body's agility, your hand-eye coordination. So you've got orcs hightailing it with fear, trying to make it break for the door that's still open. Obscura's right here in the hallway. They're going to bump into her in a minute. That'll be a nasty nightmare for her, for them, literally. If he can make a 3d6, actually let's do it on a 20, give him a disadvantage. If he can roll his dex or less on a d20, he can actually cut them off. Okay? So what do we got for him? Constitution 17, Dexterity 15. 15 or less. Okay? A 1. So flawlessly done. These guys come forward. He steps in such a way to make the first guy stutter step, and then he's going to be able to take his glaive, his burning glaive, and just go whoosh and take a swing at both of them. Let's just do that right now because it could end badly for them. So to hit these guys, only a 1 will miss. That's a hit. And he's going to do 2d8 damage plus 1 if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 2d8 plus 1 on each dude. Okay, 8, 9 plus 2. That wipes out the first guy, splatters him, and hits the second guy. Let's do the damage on the second guy. 3 and 5 is 8. This guy's splattered. It's just a bloodbath. Complete. This is why you call this episode Mopping Up, because we're mopping up scrubs. Okay, they deserve it. They should never have been working for these guys. We're not too pleased with it. And Elphanisi's going to come down the hallway. She's telling Obscura, just go in. But then she gets ready to go in, and she sees Zollers is blocking the door and swinging this big flaming glaive. And Elphanisi gets here and tries to peek in. She's like, whoa, crap, holy crap, I can't go in. And she just sees there's 3 orcs left. And Mercedes like, screw this, I'm going to take steps to jump on these guys. So let's do the same kind of heroic check for her to intercept these orcs that are trying to bail. And she's got her 2-handed sword, so she's just going to try to jump, hold one hand, maybe just put her hand out and just do a one-handed swing with her 2-handed sword, just enough to interrupt them running. So we're going to do this at a disadvantage for her with her dexterity. Her dexterity is 15. I'm going to take away 2. Okay, that's because she's using a 2-handed sword with one hand, which you can do. Okay, but she's trying to stop these 2 from getting away. She knows that Zollers has got the door blocked. This guy's not getting away, but she actually wants to damage and kill them. Okay, so 15, I'm going to take 2 away. 13 or less on a d20. Ready? 13 around the nose. So this guy's able to run past. I'm going to give the cleric another attack of opportunity as he jumps down off the bed, just in time to see his 2 comrades drop in front of him. That makes him like pause and go, whoa. Let's give the cleric a chance to stop him. Let's give Mercedes her swing at these guys. She'll use a 2-handed sword and try to hit both of them. 2 or less misses. 17, easy hit for her. 1d10 plus 5 damage to both targets. Let's just roll both of them at the same time. That's a 6. Plus 5 is 11. This guy's splattered against the wall. And 10, that guy's completely obliterated. She hits him and lops his head off, and his corpse like stumbles a little bit and falls on the bed, and then flops over like in a movie and skittles to the ground, and then like breathes a couple of death throes and dies. Very dramatic, very bloody, very nasty. Dollars is at the doorway. There's one guy left. Everyone kind of stands back and lets the cleric go to town. I mean, the guy doesn't get a chance to beat anyone else, right? So give him a chance. The guy's got his flail. He's got his shield. In fact, I'm going to have my cleric try to shield bash this guy. And this is just a made-up-on-the-spot rule. This is his chance to look tough, right? So he only needs a 10 to hit AC 0. These guys are AC 6. This guy's not even defending. He's just kind of flat-footed going, huh? So... But the shield bash isn't something he can do. This is not a guy with martial skills, and it's a big tower shield. So let's give him a 10 or higher to shield bash this guy, and if he succeeds, it knocks this guy on the ground. 10 or higher. Ready? A 1. So he takes his shield, he tries to do the shield bash, and let's see if he do a dex check and see if he slips and busts his butt. There's blood all over the place here. Orc blood underneath those plate mail silhouettes, probably slips and falls, busts his chin on the edge of the bed. These guys are so clumsy. All right, so 3d6, no disadvantage. Your dexterity or less, it's only a dexterity of 12. That's pretty good. 7, 8, 9. So he doesn't lose his balance, but what he is going to do is swing. He did the shield bash, completely miss, maybe stumbled into the bed, and then end up landing and standing on top of the bed. And the orc's actually like, oh, crap. This orc here, his morale's broken. He's not going to try to fight back. He's staring at him. He's staring at him. She's in the hallway. He sees there's more. He just puts his hands up and starts grumbling and yelling in Orcish, like whatever it sounds like when you say, please don't kill me in Orcish. I'm not even going to try to act that out because it would sound stupid on the internet. So Before anyone can do anything, Mercedes lunges forward and just skewers the dude. There's no conversation, no parlay. Sorry, she's not interested in that. A 10, an easy hit. That's just the way she would do it. That's how she'd do it. She's not going to operate any kind of friendly fire program or save the children, one orc at a time, change the world, empower people. 9 and 5 is 14. So this guy gets skewered, jams her two-handed sword into him, skewers it against a wall, twists it, pulls it out, and his whole entrails just come out and hit the floor. Very very visceral, very nasty. Just time for Elfanisi to come in the room and kind of go, oh, good. This is kind of nasty. All right, nasty melee. So let's just tone down the backing track here a little bit here, okay? We're going to turn that off, and we're going to give you some more torch sounds. You have to let me know in feedback if you like the background sounds. I've got a number of them that I like to use from time to time. Kind of give you a little bit of ambience. If you like them, that's great. If you don't like them and they're annoying and they get in the way or sounds like crackly crap, let me know, and I'll get rid of them. I'm trying to make it feel more immersive. All right, so let's get rid of this chemistry problem over here. We're going to take this torch nastiness here, get this out of the way. So we've got a bloodbath mess here. So these guys can all go in the room and start checking the room. These two are going to go check and make sure Obscura steps in the room. She's like, oh, goodness gracious. Why did it have to be orcs? What have these two been doing in the meantime? Just staying the course. She's listening to the fighting. He's just listening at the door. I'm going to do a hear noise check again for Varinjar. I'm going to give him 2 of them. The reason I'm going to give him 2, because during this whole whoop-de-doo fun time melee, there is stuff over here. I know there is. So let's just give him a hear noise check, okay? All right, so what does he need? What do we got? It's 30% if I remember correctly. You try playing 7 characters at once. 30% to hear noise. So that, remember when we play that means that's an 86, and maybe it's been about a minute of melee combat here. 59. So he doesn't really hear anything. He hears torches. No talking, no whispering, no movement, nothing out of the ordinary. Just everything seems like there's nothing there. Doesn't mean there isn't anything there, and he's not stupid enough to believe that there's nothing there. But he's not concerned about it. Let's just put it that way. All right, searching the room. Zolars knows the importance of searching everything. So you're the player at my table. I'm going to give you a D20 roll for this. Okay. If you roll a 19 or a 20, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't roll a 19 or 20, you're going to have nothing. There's a 19. Okay. While Mercedes is searching through all the bunks and Zolars is searching all the bunks, I'm going to give a 1 through 3 for Mercedes. That's it. Mercedes finds something. She says, hey, look, I think I found something. And she finds this black map tube. So let's just do you a fun little sketch over here. It's kind of like a pool cue case. You ever seen a billiard cue case? It's a black map tube. But it's made out of this completely black stone-like material, adamantite. Okay, and it's got this fancy letter E on the side of it, and we all know what that stands for, right? It's map tube. So she's going to open a map tube, but she's going to do it recklessly. She's just going to open it. She's not going to try to check to find and remove traps or anything. She's just going to roll it. So I'm going to make her do a saving throw. Okay, let's get her sheet up. I'm going to make her do a saving throw against poison, which is going to be hilarious because she's a monk and she is immune to disease and poison and slow. So I'm going to make the player, if you're the player, I'm going to make you roll anyway. 19. Easy save. So as she unscrews the lid to this cool map tube, you put your hands on it like this, put your thumb on it, your hands, you start trying to twist it around like this, start to unscrew this thing. You realize that the inner layer of it has this razor thin little razor blade on it, and it's coated with poison. And she nicks part of her finger, and she's like, oh, that sucks. And she licks her finger. Everything's okay. And Zolars looks at it and kind of steps back. He's like, whoa, check it out. That's got stuff on it. She's like, oh, really crap. And she just want to get it in her hand, so she uses the bedding from the bed to wipe that off, take the tube lid off, which has got a little thing that attaches it and hangs down. And then she looks inside, and inside is a large scrawled map with a little golden thread tied to it like that. So we get rid of the mat tube. She takes her, Zolars hands her a dagger, cut the little map tube up, and open this little map up. And it turns out that little map is kind of this compound. So here's kind of what it looks like. I'm just going to give you a quick little dirty sketch, because it looks like it's been drawn by local yokels. So it shows this, and it shows a big tower here, and this is north of the top of the map. And it shows this outdoor area out here. And it shows trees, and has a big picture of dogs. So there's little pictures of dogs. It shows this here. And it says this here. And it shows a little road. And it's got a bunch of dates written on it. It's almost like do this. And it shows piles of rocks. So it says this primitively scrawled, crappy map labeled in Hill Giant. As if there was hill giants that used this room previously. The bed size makes you think that like these are the cheapest, crappiest beds possible. So she finds it. They come bring over this information over to Mercedes. She's like, what did you found? I found this black map tube. And he's like, it had poison on it. Let me check it. They take a look at the map tube. The tube itself, it looks to be extremely well crafted, made out of like the stone type metal material. But it's odd that it has a clunky, goofy ogre map in it. So it's almost as if someone got their hands in the tube, but whatever's in the tube isn't there anymore, and they put their little local work order, go pile rocks on Thursdays and Saturdays, and be sure all the wagon deliveries from the stolen goods come on Tuesdays. So it's kind of like a confusing, but it still had the poison on it. So it's kind of like, who did that? So they're just going to stuff that in their pack and keep that for now, and then get ready to move on. All right, so we have more to do, much more to do. Let's go back to some ambient here. Let's get some ambient going on. There we go. There we go. Creepy. So, Obscura is just going to come into here. She's going to have to take the map. And everyone's going to come back into this hallway. And then I'm going to close the door behind them. They're at a point now, like stealth's broken. There's been no major challenge. There's been a couple of nasty fights. No major challenge. So we're going to remove everyone off of here. And we're going to go back to a hallway map. Okay? Just for a moment, too. And then we're going to switch maps for you. So we get all the stuff off the screen here. We're going to take our heroes and take them off the board. Heroes. It sounds like our World of Warcraft quest. Okay. All right. So that's about an hour and 20 minutes. We're trying to get this done by 12. I don't think it's going to be possible. May not be able to get too much further. So let's go back to our hallway. Okay? So because they haven't opened the other doors, I'm just going to draw the hallway for you again. Okay? So you got this 10-foot wide hallway. Just do this really quick. The door is at the end. They came down 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. There's a corridor going down this way. Corridor going down this way. And then there is a door here, which they haven't opened. And this is the door in the room they just opened, which is like a barracks, like an ogre or hill giant barracks that had a bunch of orc rebels in it. They were probably just former slaves, to be quite honest with you. And there's a really big door here that they haven't checked out. Now, this door was left open. Let's just clean that up real quick. This door was open. And you may remember there was a hallway, went way down this way. And this is 10 foot wide. It goes like this. And jostles up this way. It goes down like that. And this just goes straight down like that. Yeah, there's a little jostle here. And here's the door to the armory room. Do you remember with all the spears and the racks? That's going to left open too. There's just blood everywhere. All kinds of bloody footprints on the ground. So, let's just quickly bring our party together back on the screen, and then we'll go on from here. So, who we have? Obscura in the hallway. Zolorus is over here. Mercedes moved to this other large door. The druid's here. Rendra's going to come back to here. Eliphanesi's going to check this hallway. I'll have her hide and shadows check real quick one. 68. Oh, that is on the button. Isn't that on the button? HS 68. Yeah, that's on the button. That means yes. That still means yes. Still means yes. The cleric's right here. Obscura's here. There we go. All right. This door. She's like, there's just a big melee happening. Lots of yelling, orcs just screaming in blood and dying in horrible pain. The time for pushing doors open quietly has ended. Anyone that wants to open a door and step out to the hallway is more than welcome to do so. So what she's going to do is she's going to push this door open. Okay? So Mercedes is going to push it open, and the cleric's going to give her a hand. They're both going to push the door open. So now we can actually switch to the other map. So Eliphanesi's going to be back here. She's going to move back away. The druid's actually going to slip around this way over to here. And Rendra's going to kind of close this door back behind him, and he's going to kind of stand rear guard with this back door. let's clear this off, and we're going to switch to this room here, which is a really neat room. Really fun. Only $200 a night. All right. One more room, and then we'll have to wrap it up. One more cool room. A cool room. This is a cool room. Is that a cool room or what? That looks like a cool room. Very cool. Now you can see why I was drawing the hallway manually, because you don't want you to see into the room yet because you're not there. Okay. Mercedes opens the door, takes a step in. Antola behind her, he takes a step in. She's going to open the door up all the way. Zollers comes in, he takes a step in. Frinjar's got the rear guard. Elfanisi's down the hallway guarding. Obscura's in the hallway guarding. And the Druid's going to position herself here so she can see in. These two curious ladies want to be able to see in. They push the door open all the way. So what do we have here? So we have this really beautiful, huge stone fireplace. Magnificent rug on the ground, but unlike the Arctic bear rugs you saw in the other rooms, this one's like a big black bear, like a massive giant black bear rug sprawled out. And the two chairs here are very, very royal looking. They don't look like stuff that'd be in like a king or a chief's chamber, but for like important dignitaries, okay? If there is such a thing for hill giants. There's a beautiful desk here that is a human desk that's been propped up on a couple stones to be taller, with a couple of tankards of ale that have been drunk. A really nice bed here with good bread sheets on it that have been stolen from humans. And a few kind of like supporting staff style beds here, and two bunk beds over here. These are bunk beds. They're doubled up. So it's almost like a guest chamber for our best guests. Now, if you're a hill giant, who knows who comes to visit you. But these two torches are burning, so they're going away. Fire is still lit. Is the sun starting to come through up high on the clear story windows. On the wall here is like a big mural of hill giant grand battles from a long time ago. It doesn't look like anything recently, showing like hundreds of men being killed by one hill giant with a boulder. You've got a nightstand over here, which has a little wine glass on it. Very small, petite silver wine glass. Two tankards that are ceramic mugs. So everyone's just going to step into the room and just kind of check the room out. So these two are going to slip in here as well. These two are going to stand rear guard. So let's see what the first thing Mercedes is going to do. She's going to come over here and check this table out. Obscura is going to check and see if there's anything under the bed. Antola's going to come over here and check over, see if there's anything behind this bed. Azala's going to come over here and check what's here. And the Druid's looking at the bear rug, is just going to step over it, step away from it, and just think for a moment about how disgusting it is that they've been killed and skinned an animal. So she's not really participating in the searching for clues type thing. But Mercedes finds something on this table. And what is it that she finds? She finds another one of these black parchments. Do you remember in episode 4 how they found this black parchment written on this like vellum type paper? Now imagine the white space is all black and all this writing is glowing in silver. Let's put this a little closer so you can see it a little better. There we go. I'll put a light on it so you can see it even better. There we go. Cool. So once again, it's got our house Eilserv letter E here. This is all everyone knows now. They've seen it. They identified it. This is Drow writing. And this is something written here, then written here, this strange little half figure 8 symbol, and then something really underlined in bold. And then a bunch of other additional stuff right in the bottom. And you got this Spider Queen type emblem down here, and a bunch of spider stuff around the edges. And the filigree around this top part here is silver and glows in the sunlight. And the whole scroll kind of radiates magic, as if it was magically written. Not that someone took a pen and scribbled it down. So they all take this, hey, look what I found. They're going to all gather together here in the center of the room. The Druid's not interested. Antola is keenly interested in this. Zollers is going to check this thing over here. Now, what's very interesting is when Zollers comes over here, the Druid comes over here and realizes that there's something going on with this torch. So this has got two things going to be happening at once. So what I'm going to do a standard 3d6 against her intelligence. Okay? I need to get the Druid up here. Where is she? Here we go. And we're going to switch one more thing here. Let's get rid of that. Sorry about that. And let's just switch this to all right. So, our Druid, what does she need? What does she need? Her wisdom check is high, but she's very, very smart. She got a great intelligence of 14. We're going to do a wisdom check. Now, wisdom checks are kind of like your life experiences. You've seen this before. Your willpower, your fortitude, your resiliency under duress. You also have intelligence, but when you have something that you're wise about, that you're smart onto. So we're looking. All she needs to do is roll 17 or less. Okay. So there's something about this torch that's weird. So she walks up to it and she like realizes that the sparks in the flame are translucent too much, and she's like, "This torch is weird." Obscura goes, "Oh," and so she sees this too. And from a distance, Obscura, who does this for a living, can tell almost immediately that that's not really a torch. An 18 means she can't tell. She said, "Whoa, hang on. Here, let me show you." So she puts her hand on where the torch is. Let's just give you a little sketch here. So you got the big torch on this wall, burning like this on a sconce. Here's the wall, and here's the floor. Can you see that? Remember we talked about how tall people are before? So here's like how tall everyone is, right? Here's a person standing there. Crappy chicken scratch. So here's this torch. But they can reach up with their hand and try to touch it, and they realize that, like, wait a minute, that's not really a real torch. My hand passes right through it. It's an illusion. She says, "Here, I'll sort that for you." So she goes up to it and puts her hand over the illusion back and forth and puts her hands inside of it like this. So you can tell that's not really a torch. But if your hand hits something, she's like, "Wait a minute." And she pulls this, and she pulls like this, and this massive sword comes out of the wall. I just so happen to have a crappy sketch of that massive sword, if I can just find it for you. So this really weird looking sword. She pulls this out of the wall, the illusion of the torch disappears, and you have this big, long, heavy broadsword with this weird two-handed rapier style. Rapiers are one-handed weapons, like you've seen on my website. This, if it's two-handed, it's sparkling. It's got this knot with all this horsehair hanging off the back, and it sparkles and gleams in the light. Now, written along the side of this sword is a bunch of runes. Okay, so it kind of looks like this. So you can get a real close view. So there's these runes that are written right along here. Now, what kind of language is that? Let's give these kids a chance to figure out what the language is. So Antola is probably the smartest. So you go look at the sword together. The druid's like, "Oh, it's a weapon. I'm not interested in that." Mercedes like, "What is it? What have you found?" "I've got this. I found this." So Mercedes got the letter. So Mercedes got the letter, and they've got the sword, but the language is different. The letter's got this Drow language on it, but the sword has more of an etched rune type of language on it. So we're going to give a roll for Antola to see if you can identify this language. We're just going to roll this against his wisdom, okay? That's 11. He said, "This is a dwarven." He says, this sword is a dwarven sword. And Mercedes like, "A dwarven sword? Like that is too huge to be a dwarven sword." And Obscura's like, if there's one illusion here, there may be others. So I'm going to have Obscura, she's going to spend a turn, okay, which is 10 minutes, doing a check of everything in the room to look and see, are there any other hidden illusions in here? So she's occupied doing that. So we're just going to put her here in the corner over here for now. Zolars is done checking all the stuff over here. He didn't find anything. So he's just going to come over here and kind of sit down in the chair and take a break. Eliphanesis is going to come zipping back down here and say, "What have you found? What have you found?" "Oh, they found something." So Venjar's interested. He's going to come in here too. So everyone's going to kind of zip into the room. They're going to close the door back behind them. Venjar will stand here and stand guard the door. Eliphanesis here. Zolars sits down. She's like, "Get up. What are you doing?" He gets up back out of the chair. Like, "Okay, I'll get up." And they're looking at the sword, and they're looking at the piece of paper in kind of a group. And he's like, "Let me see that paper." So he says to the rest of the party, "This is just a letter and with instructions on it." And he says, "From what I can tell, it seems like," we'll just use a crappy old pencil from the old school, right? Let's use this pencil here. "This is some kind of introductory statement about in regards to the thing we talked about." That's all I can really tell. It's some kind of introductory, not a salutation. But this here says, "Use the infinity chain." So this is a symbol of like an ornate piece of jewelry, and it says "Use infinity." And that's the symbol for infinity, turn on its side, but it also says chain. But this right here says, "Do not kill young." So don't know what I mean by that. That's kind of confusing. And let's give a roll for Obscura, who has high intelligence, to see if she has an idea. "What do you mean, do not kill young?" "Let me see that." She comes and takes a look at it. Let's give her an intelligence roll. 5, 6. Ooh, that's close. 11, 12. She's like, "That says do not kill child. This is child. See this symbol here? CHILD. This is the same letter as this one here. It's the same one as this letter here. Do not kill child." "Well, what about the rest of this?" And everyone gets very excited because they think they're onto something. "What about this down here? these are instructions, but I can't make out this bottom part. I have no idea what this means. And these things here have symbols of individuals holding up something to an altar. So if you look really closely, you have this figure of someone putting something up on an altar and putting another person, almost like some kind of ceremonial thing. And with this spider down here and all the stuff pointing down here, it's almost like a sacrifice. So they all deduced, like, they knew this was behind it. This confirms them completely that the Drow are behind this, but what this infinity chain means doesn't make any sense, but the instructions are clear. The child's not dead, the child's not maybe here, but been moved and transported somewhere else. But what this infinity chain is, they don't know, and they know it means the destiny for what's going to happen ultimately is very, very bad. They got to stop it. So with renewed vigor, they said, listen, there's no time to waste, no time to prepare any more spells. We got to have to just make it boogie through the rest of this place and make sure there's no other way that anyone else could have escaped. If we come upon the orcs, just leave them, because we can always go back to the chieftain's room and work our way down, because if there's going to be Drow involved, it's going to be a way down. But they said, yeah, but don't forget about the map. What should that mean? Should we go to the Frost Giant Jarl now? Should we leave now, hoping that's where they've already moved everything? But then everyone says, well, remember, we all decided, kill everything until we get enough information. This information says a long-term plan of what might happen, but it doesn't say what the short-term plan is. That child could still be in progress of being moved. They could still be here. They could be down in that dungeon in passageways. Who knows? So they decide to move very quickly with speed back towards where the Hill Giant Chief meeting room was and use the stairwell that leads downstairs. So with that information there on hand, we're going to wrap this episode up. And I hope you had a fun one. And we try to do it really quickly, mopping up all the scrubs. These poor little scrubs here. They all got mopped up quite easily and morale broke. And we'll pick it up back later this week, maybe early this weekend. And we'll find out what happens next. But they're going to try and move themselves back over to the Giants, the Hill Giant Chief Nazra's meeting room, where they found behind one of the shields a stairwell that led down to a dungeon level. So they're going to immediately make that their top priority. Doesn't mean they're not going to come back up, but they're going to make that their top priority. So they take all the information they've got on hand, and they start moving off in that direction right away. So as they leave the room, I'm going to leave you by the fire with your glass of wine or your Bailey's coffee or water or whatever you want, and we're going to end our episode on that note there. So mopping up is done. The next episode will be episode 7, and things will get really nasty. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you had fun. As always, love to have feedback. Any feedback, good feedback, bad feedback. Put a YouTube comment up there. I'll have this on YouTube within the hour. Follow me on Twitch, and you get a notification that says, hey, the show's live. You want to follow me on Twitter, you'll get the same kind of notification. On Twitch, they hold the live shows for about a week, and then they get removed. So you get an archive for about a week on Twitch, but I'll always put everything on YouTube, so you have an archive forever. So share with your buddies and your other D&D friends. If you have other first edition players or second edition players that like that kind of stuff, that like the story, like the elements, like the combat, have them come tune in, because what I'm trying to do here is really change how people stream live play and give a lot more story to these old, wonderfully classic original D&D modules. And there's lots of room for embellishment, but I've tried to figure it all out ahead of time to make it really fun and engaging. So our interesting party is evolving. Their relationships are still working really well. They're slaughtering everything in their path, but this is just G1, okay? There's a lot more to come. So that's it. We'll talk to you soon. This is Classic DM, and have a great night.